Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Welcome back, everyone. Hope you've been enjoying your weekend. If you're tuning in on Sunday, the day that this show comes out, appreciate you. Thank you for your support as always. Of course, this is the Cabral HouseCall edition of the Cabral Concept, where we answer our community's questions. Basically, me coming into your home. You have a question for me. I am without any of my textbooks, without any research, without pulling any data. It's me drawing upon 25 years of experience, overseeing an amazing team. Over the years, I've had many people on my team. And just basically drawing on that data, that experience. So what I want to do is I want to share with you what I feel is a hopefully trustworthy second opinion as to where to go deeper, what you might be missing. And so I love being able to answer these questions for you. Of course, I have to share with you that this is not medical advice, shouldn't be misconstrued in any way as medical advice, medical cure, medical diagnosis, or medical treatment plan. But for sure, we're going to be helping you get deeper as to what the underlying root cause is, as to why you're not feeling well, why you're not able to gain the weight, why you can't lose the weight, or why you feel like you're aging at a much more rapid pace. So without further ado, let's get into today's questions. First one is from Zoe. Zoe says, hello. I'm a newly graduated pharmacist with a passion for lifestyle medicine. I'm also a nutrition coach for friends, family, and members of my church. I have several patients that ask for help with IBD symptoms. I was hoping you could do a review of which digestive enzymes are used to help patients experiencing diarrhea versus constipation. Are these similar? Any Amazon brands that you might recommend? Thanks in advance. Huge fan of your functional medicine podcast. I'm hoping to have a future career in functional medicine as well. All right. Well, what I'd recommend is this. I have a whole category just on how to overcome any digestive issue that you could deal with. That's at stephencabral.com/podcast. You're going to want to scroll through the top and click on the digestive one. And if you want to go really deep with Zoe, which I recommend, since this is obviously a passion of yours, go to stephencabral.com/courses. One of the courses I have is on rebalancing the digestive system. Because although I like where your mind's at, I appreciate your dedication to helping others, we don't want to look just towards digestive enzymes for IBD. The question is always, why do you have IBD in the first place? And it's not necessarily a lack of digestive enzymes. The question with IBD is, do you have candida overgrowth? Do you have bacterial overgrowth? Do you have parasites? Do you have H. pylori? Do you have food sensitivities? Do you have weak stomach acid? Do you have a hiatal hernia? I mean, you're looking at all of these things and you're assessing as to why. Digestive enzymes aren't bad. I mean, we use digestive enzymes all the time. My wife and I use digestive enzymes. I use proteolytic enzymes in the morning, and my wife uses a lot more digestive enzymes with her meals. It helps her digestion. She's healthy, everything's good, but it can help with aiding digestion. So for all of the digestive enzymes and other products I recommend, you just go to stephencabral.com/shop. But remember, although I recommend those, I do want to make sure that you're looking at the underlying root causes, because if you have IBD, we need to figure out what the root cause is, all right? Thank you for writing in. Jenna's up next. Hey, Dr. Cabral, thank you for everything you do and for creating a truly helpful and transparent health and wellness community. My question is more of a career-oriented one. I'm graduating this upcoming summer and would like to pursue a career in research. I want to work for a place that conducts ethical and objective studies, and was wondering if you had any insight into places with these values. I was thinking labs at universities around the area would be my best bet. I know you may not be able to answer this question, but any information you can provide would be helpful in my job search. Thanks so much. Yeah, happy to help with this. So my favorite way to look for which research institution to work for would be to learn more about the people that are representing those labs. So let me give you an example. Dr. David Sinclair, right down the road in Cambridge, Massachusetts, at MIT and Harvard, both in Cambridge, Massachusetts, literally right over the Charles River. They oversee the lab, and they're in the lab, so it's not like they're not, but there's typically then like a head, coordinator, manager, director of the specific studies that might be going on and overseeing that. So what I like to do is always understand like a top-down approach. So like you want to be interested in, intrigued by the person and where they're going, like their movement, their idea, their vision, and then also in the type of work that they do. So you're right, like I can't answer your question specifically because let's say my interest right now is in life extension as well as health span extension. I'll be talking more about that in my HPH programs coming up. But yeah, like that's my interest. So who would I be interested in studying with? Like, okay, like I would go look at Dr. Sinclair or Dr. Neer or a few others into their work and what they're doing. And then I would then apply or look at those universities and see if there's any internship work or job placement. So hopefully that's helpful. All right. Simone is up next. Hi, Dr. Ball. What are your thoughts on the at-home microcurrent facial devices? They allegedly improve and build the facial muscles, lift and tighten the skin, as well as smooth the lines. Do you think this is true? And do you feel that these results are long-lasting? Thanks so much in advance for your answer. Okay. Yeah, happy to help with this as well. So yes, they do work, but not the end-all be-all. So let me explain. So these are basically smaller versions of something called a let me see if I can remember this one. Transcutaneous electrical nerve stimulation device, a TENS unit. I actually just talked about it. Was it like 2 days ago on the Friday review? I can't even remember anymore. I didn't do a lot of shows. But TENS units help with stimulating muscles. They bring blood flow to the area, and it's basically like working a muscle, and that's what it does. So what they can do is this. They can stimulate a muscle, and if it's gotten weak, it can absolutely make it a little bit stronger. And that includes the facial muscles as well. And so yes, they work. But again, not the end-all be-all. Why do I say that? Because if there's a lack of collagen, you're not getting enough protein in your diet, you're not getting enough vitamin C, you're not getting enough zinc, you're not getting enough total nutrients, micronutrients, you can't rebuild the area, you can't rebuild the tissue. So what I would recommend is maybe something like, again, the daily foundational protocol, I'm a huge believer in. The advanced collagen support by Equalife, I'm a huge believer in. It works, it's guaranteed to work. And then what I would say is this, you also, in my opinion, should do microneedling as well. Microneedling is going to damage small damage to the cartilage, and not the cartilage, but the collagen, helps it rebuild. Then if you have the nutrients, it will rebuild. And then the microcurrent can be helpful as well. I wouldn't do the microcurrent every day, I don't think, but certainly like 3-4 times a week, I think that you'd be able to do that. It just depends. If you're doing a longer session, you need less times per week. If you're doing little sessions, you do it a little bit more often, kind of like weightlifting, right? So hopefully that was helpful. All right, AW is up next. Hi, Dr. Paul. Thank you for the work you do. I really appreciate your insights, and I'm hoping you can help me. I suffer from PMDD. It's hard to describe the severity of the symptoms I experience every month, especially on the mental side. Bone-crushing sadness with weeping spells, hopelessness, feelings of worthlessness and overwhelm. I relive all of my worst regrets, extreme sensitivity, erratic thoughts, heightened anxiety, jumpiness, inability to concentrate. I could keep going. Suffice to say, it disrupts my life and has damaged relationships. Do you have any insights into this condition? I'm also wondering your ideas or thoughts on the supplement Jubilance. Thank you. Okay, yeah, happy to help with this. PMDD, for people out there that don't know what that stands for, it's premenstrual dysphoric disorder, and it is PMS symptoms, which typically occur the last 7 to 14 days of your cycle, typically 7 days to 10 days. And rather than being called PMS, it's called severe PMS or PMDD. But it's heightened symptoms of the mental, emotional, depression, low mood, OCD, and then it's also an irritability, overwhelm, but then it's also sometimes the physical side, cramps, bloating, pain, abdominal pain, etc. And this is a real thing. And typically, so what we see is this is often due to a few things. One of them is estrogen dominance. So that means lower levels of progesterone versus normal or higher levels of estrogen. Another one, and this is important to look at as well, elevated levels of cortisol, and then imbalanced neurotransmitters, which almost nobody talks about. So insufficient levels of 5-HTP or serotonin, insufficient levels of GABA, and maybe even heightened levels of glutamate and heightened levels of histamine. So hopefully you checked out my podcast on how histamine increases estrogen, not a good thing when you're suffering from PMDD, but also the neurotransmitter imbalances. So for you, I would recommend the Big 5 labs if you're able to run that, because higher levels of omega-6s are going to exacerbate this as well. So again, my highest recommendation is the Big 5 labs. And if you're able to, cost-wise, because I know there's a cost to this, so don't get me wrong, I would add on the neurotransmitter test as well. You want to run all of these during your highest level of severity, probably somewhere around days 19, 20, or 21 of your cycle. That's when we recommend running that stress mood metabolism test, as well as the neurotransmitter if you're feeling those symptoms then. If you can only run 2 labs, run the stress mood metabolism and the neurotransmitter, but then you'll absolutely want to be doing then the daily foundational protocol, because you'll just have to assume you have imbalanced levels of omega-6s, omega-3s, missing levels of B vitamins, zinc, etc. So yeah, I mean, we work with this all the time. We're happy to help. You can also work with an integrative health practitioner, level 2. And when level 3 comes out, level 3 for sure. So yeah, hopefully that's helpful. And I know that you can overcome this. Or the goal is this. The goal is it's at 100% right now to take it down to 70% within like 6 to 8 weeks, maybe 12, and then get it down to like 30, 40% in another month or 2 after that, right? Because you're getting better every cycle. And then the goal is like, it only happens like to a much less severe extent, 1 or 2 days, and then you don't have it anymore. That's always the goal, and that's how we see it work in our practice. Okay, let's get another question. This one is from Lisa. Lisa says, and by the way, I don't know the supplement that you were talking about. I don't know that. We base everything on your lab testing, so we recommend the lab testing. That's really, for something very severe, I can't recommend just trying certain things. It's not bad to do that. I'm not saying it's bad, but that's not my highest recommendation. And I also have a really great course in this as well. If you want to check that out at stephencabral.com/courses, it's the rebalancing female hormones one. All right, Lisa's up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I hope you're doing wonderful. Well, I hope you're doing wonderful as well, Lisa. Appreciate that. I am. I have a question about supplements and fasting. I always eat an early dinner around 5 p.m. at the latest, and I fast for about 16 hours. I've noticed that I wake up at 4 a.m. every night, and I feel it's due to low blood sugar. The best solution would be to eat something before bed, but I don't want to break my fast, which I mainly do for my gut health and autophagy. Are there any ways to keep my blood sugar stable throughout the night without breaking the fast, with certain supplements that do not affect the fast? Thanks so much in advance for your answer. You are amazing, Lisa. Thank you, Lisa. You're amazing. Appreciate that. All right, so let's dive into it. So basically, you're waking up at 4 a.m., which you believe is to hypoglycemia. So when your blood sugar levels drop, your body then says, that wasn't supposed to happen. We need to bring up sugar so that we don't pass out. Even though you're asleep, you go into a coma if your blood sugar gets too low. So we don't want that. So your body has its protective mechanisms. So your body produces glucocorticoids, namely cortisol. Cortisol helps to break down stored liver glycogen or muscle glycogen as needed and raise blood sugar levels, but oftentimes the rise in cortisol then drops your melatonin, and lo and behold, you wake up and you have a difficult time going back to sleep. Okay, so understood where you're coming from and totally get it. So yes, the options are this. Little protein snack before bed, that seems to help most people, or sometimes just a handful of nuts. But yes, it does break your fast. Okay, so you want to do a fast, which means you can't eat. Totally get it. So what we do is this. At dinner time, we are using a product called, it's basically this. It's the entire Ultimate Sleep protocol, Ultimate Sleep Health protocol. But let me narrow it down, because maybe you don't need all of them. You can even start with this. You could do this. You could do balanced zinc and 3 capsules of full spectrum magnesium at dinner. Now, the reason that works as a supplement is that magnesium helps to control the adrenals, through the sympathetic nervous system, and blood sugar levels. And zinc helps with balancing the nervous system and tissue repair as well. So it's like magnesium and zinc at dinner, really help to calm that sympathetic nervous system. I've been doing magnesium and zinc at dinner for, like almost 20 years. It's a game changer for my sleep. Like, it's one of the best things I can do for my sleep is every night at dinner, magnesium and zinc. And I've just reduced my dosage over the years, so I just need less. The other thing that you may want to look into is the liquid melatonin. All of these things are available at StephenCabral.com/shop. Again, you can always use your favorite functional medicine brand. I'm always okay with that, of course. But if you want to know what I do in my practice, I just like to share that with you. That's all. Okay. And the last product, but you don't need to even use this right away. Try the others first, would be Adrenal Soothe. And you do 2 to 3 capsules at dinner. And it just kind of calms, again, that sympathetic nervous system. So there's no kind of like highs and lows and spikes in cortisol. That's what I'd recommend. But of course, you could run the stress, mood, and metabolism test and actually see if there's any misregulation or dysregulation of cortisol in the evening. Again, that's at StephenCabral.com/labs. And it's called the stress, mood, and metabolism. All right, so hopefully that works great. And again, you can write back in and let us know. Okay, and then at dinner, just make sure you get enough protein, right? Protein and fiber at dinner so that you don't get the highs after dinner and then the low during the night. Let's see. Let's do one more question. This one is from Jason. It says, I use oil of Olay on my face every day after I get out of the shower. Is there a better, safer alternative? My skin tends to be dry, and I also like the fact to provide some sun protection of SPF. Okay, so Jason, I have lots of shows on skin care. I don't typically recommend a product like oil of Olay. If you like an oil product, I typically recommend an argan oil or rose hip oil, which have nice vitamin C and antioxidants. They also don't clog the pores. So those are really nice. Argan oil is a really easy one. And also, depending on your age, and if you see like your skin starting to age, there's a great product as well. It is called One Skin, and it's a moisturizer that also has been clinically proven to reduce fine lines and wrinkles. I don't know if we still have a code for that. The code used to be Cabral15, I think, for 15% off. I think it was. You'll find it at StephenCabral.com/resources. And then I just want you to look into the SPF. I'd be careful using an SPF if it's not a natural organic kind. And the reason is that many SPFs have been shown to be carcinogenic, which means causing cancer. So I understand why you're using it. I just want to make sure that you're not putting a toxic-based product on your skin. If you want to check to see if it's toxic or not, go to skindeep.org or ewg.org, type in the product name and see where it ranks on the environmental working group toxicity list. And then you can decide if it's the right one for you, because it's not my job to tell you if it's the right thing or not. It's just my job to point you in the right direction, give you the place to start, and then hopefully you make the right decision for you and your family as well. So hopefully today's show has been helpful. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in on the weekend edition of the show. I thank you. I appreciate you. I'll be back tomorrow with a brand new week of the Cabral Concept. Take care, everybody.
Before you go, I wanted to ask you this question. What if I could teach you in just a couple of hours how to transform your thyroid, hormones, adrenal, cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, weight loss, energy, mood, brain, pregnancy, anti-aging, or many other health-related issues? After 20 years in private practice, after seeing and overseeing 250,000 client appointments, I sincerely feel I have the real-world data and have found the answer you've been searching for. So what I've done is spent hundreds of hours of my own time refining what you need to know in order to uncover your underlying root cause health issues and then begin to rebalance the body and bring it back to a state of robust health and wellness. I'm going to teach you exactly what I do in my private practice so you can understand how you got here and now what you need to do in order to heal. You'll receive all of the important success checklists, protocols, and even ways to customize it to make the program fit your busy life. And you'll get all of this at a fraction of the price. Let me save you the time, money, energy, stress, and frustration of not knowing what to do next. Instead of reading dozens of books on the topic and seeing multiple practitioners, I will condense everything that you need to know in just a few hours of video tutorials that you can watch and listen to anywhere. Together, we will make this healing process an enjoyable one that you can take with you for the rest of your life. I wish you all of the best of health and happiness, and I hope to be able to guide you on your healing journey through my Health Results Accelerators. Simply choose the health imbalance you're currently suffering from, and by the end of today, you'll know what went wrong and how to get well again. I guarantee it. For details, head over now to stephencabral.com/courses.